Hello everyone, welcome to Module 2 of the Data Garden course. In this module, we will be learning about how to load files into p5.js, such as images, text and fonts and songs, and we will also learn about object transformations in p5.js. Just a recap of our previous module. In our module 1, we learned about basic drawing with p5.js, as well as interactivity, so how you can make your sketch interact with your mouse. So if you haven't yet, be sure to go through that module first. And also don't forget to share your results on our Discord server. All right, so we're back to the good old p5.js editor. Here I have a 400 by 400 canvas that is pink, and let's start putting text onto the canvas. So we type text, open parentheses. We input in quotation marks first what we want the text to say. So hello, for example, close quotation mark and a comma. And then we're going to put the X and Y placement of the text. So let's try 100X and 100Y. And there we go. And then we have the word hello positioned at X 100 and Y 100. Another way to command that hello, and this is the recommended approach, is if we turn it into a variable. And so we can say var word is hello. Don't forget the quotation marks, and then close with a semicolon. And so here we can just say word, and then it's going to have the same effect, so we can turn it into anything we want. What you can also do is actually write a sentence onto your canvas and then constrain it in a text box. So for example, if I have a very long sentence, hello, this is a sentence written by me on a Sunday. This is a Sunday when I'm recording this. And so if we want to, for example, constrain this into a text box, all we have to do is go back to that text command, and instead of only putting X and Y placements, we are going to have to also put the width and the height. So similar to how we would draw a rectangle. So if I want my text box to be 100 wide, 100 pixels wide, and like 150 pixels tall. And there we go. And so as you can see, the words are now constrained into those text box perimeters. So that's sort of the two ways that you can write text onto your canvas. You can also put styles and properties on text as well. Same with assigning styles and colors onto shapes. You would have to write it above the text command itself. Some of those properties include text size. If I want to make this smaller, like 7, text align, we can say, if you want it center, right, American spelling, there we go, you can go right, and for this one, make sure that it's all caps, and we have text font. You can assign certain typefaces onto the text that you want to draw. How we do that is, firstly, similar with colors, some basic typefaces the computer can actually recognize. So if I go something like Baskerville, it's going to do it in Baskerville. But yeah, just give it a try. So I'm going to go times. It's going to give you Times New Roman. Even Papyrus, I think, is in there. You can also, like, even Comic Sans. Let's try that. No, Comic Sans isn't like MS. It's like, yeah. So those sorts of computer default fonts it can access. Oh, and before I forget, you can also put stroke and color as well on your text. Yeah, same sort of color settings that you can apply onto a shape, you can draw onto a text as well. So now we're going to delve into how to load your own fonts or typefaces onto p5.js in order to use it in a setting like this. So first things first, we are going to click on this arrow, and maybe you want to save your p5 sketch first. So we're gonna click on this arrow. next to sketch files, you're going to click on that drop down and select upload file. And you want to drop or upload your font file, so either in OTF or TTF, into this page here. And so I'm going to upload mine. I'm just using a Comforta test font for this case. And so after I upload it, I will see it here. You can see that is the file name of the font that I've just uploaded. So I'm going to go back to this sketch.js, by the way. That's our script that we are writing. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a variable to hold this font. So right now I'm just going to say let font. And then what we also need when loading something onto a sketch is we need what is called a preload function. So function preload, open close parentheses, and then the curly brackets. So what the preload function is there for is it loads any sort of external files that it needs before it sets up your canvas. And so this is where we would put in our images and things later on as well. So in the preload function, what we're going to do is assign the file with the variable. And so we would go font, load font, open parentheses, and then I'm going to put in the name of this file. So I'm just going to copy it from there and then paste it. All right. So close quotation mark and close with a semicolon. And so now all I need to do is here where I have Comic Sans MS, I'm going to replace that with my variable, which is font. And so now what I should get is my typeface. So that's Comforta there, now written on my text.